is Jesi Stracham. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm an adaptive athlete on a mission to show others what they're capable of. So on January 18th, 2015, I was a passenger on a motorcycle. You know how North Carolina winters are, 60-degree days here and there. So it was a perfect day to go ride the bike. We left a traffic light and got up to about 45, 50 miles an hour. And I saw a car making a U-turn. The woman never slowed down. She was in an SUV. Driver wasn't slowing down. I'm hitting him. He's not stopping. She's not stopping. So I hold on as tight as I can, close my eyes, and tuck into the back of him. I woke up a week later in the hospital after flying over the woman's SUV. My chest completely collapsed, ribs punctured my lungs, nicked my spinal cord. I broke my back in 2 places. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I coded twice and had to be resuscitated. So I don't really remember the first week in the hospital. I was knocked out pretty much the entire time. I know it took 2 days for me to be stable enough to even have back surgery. My parents signed me up for a clinical trial where they put what's called a neuroscaffold in my spinal cord to reconnect the disconnect. I don't know if it works or not. It dissolves after 6 months. I never met any of the markers, but that was the one thing the doctor said, if she has any hope of recovering, this is it. You know, you wake up and you're terrified. I wake up with a nurse between my legs and I didn't feel her. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, just cathing you. I'm like, what's that? And she's like, I felt nothing. So she was sticking a catheter in my urethra, draining my bladder, and I had no idea. And so that was kind of the harsh reality for me of like, wow, I have a spinal cord injury, and not only can I not walk, but I also have no use of my bowel and bladder. And it was terrifying. The first thing I did, which it shows is a testament to the power of support, is I joined Facebook spinal cord injury support groups. And I just put a question out there. I said, hey, I'm a T4 paraplegic. What's my life gonna look like? And I had hundreds of comments of people just doing some of the raddest shit. And I'm like, okay, bet. Life is about to be good. So I spent 3 weeks in the ICU before being moved to rehab. And then when I got to rehab, it was like, all right, teach me how to be independent. And that's where you start to learn how to transfer, shower, put your pants on. You literally have to relearn everything. Going to the bathroom, that's a whole lesson in itself. I mean, it's a really, really trying time, and it creates one of 2 people. It's like victor or victim. So when I was in rehab, I met Chris, and Chris was 50 at the time. He was injured in October. Now this man died like 8 or 9 times. He had some issues, but that was my rehab buddy. So we were both injured together and like learning this new life, navigating this new life together. And he's actually the inspiration behind Wheel With Me Foundation. When we got discharged, Chris got discharged to a nursing home. I got discharged to live life, and he still lives in that nursing home. And so my goal is to build a facility where people don't have to go to nursing homes. Wheel With Me Foundation is my nonprofit. We founded to serve the independence of wheelchair users. We want to teach wheelchair users how to become productive members of community. After a spinal cord injury, or if you grow up with a spina bifida, or later on in life you get muscular dystrophy or multiple sclerosis, often you learn how to live life from people that aren't living it. So I would love to create a in-person support group where people learn how to be wheelchair users from other wheelchair users. They learn how to be successful. 50% of the spinal cord injury population alone relies on government assistance solely for their independence. That is a huge chunk of a growing population. There's no telling what the other communities, how many of them rely on that as well. So I would like to create independent, contributing members of society that are able to live outside of the government's confines. I think the biggest piece of advice for a family member is have patience, and when they start taking their anger out on you, walk away. It is not a reflection of you, it's definitely a reflection of what they're going through. A lot of times when I first got injured, I would take my anger out on my mom. She was the brunt of everything. And a lot of family members experience the same thing, and we have a hard time separating the emotions, especially at first year, 2 years. And so just have patience with them. Now, somebody that's newly injured, Have patience with yourself and realize that your current struggles won't be your forever struggles as long as you put effort in to get stronger. If you just sit around and say, poor me, nothing's gonna change. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting different results. Unless you're willing to put the effort forth, unless you're willing to make the change, just one small change, eat better meals, and then start adding some workouts, focus on getting stronger, and then focus on nailing some transfers, like the floor transfer or a big popover transfer. Like there's small goals you can set for yourself that will get you to where you wanna be, but you have to be the one to take action on it. When I go to the gym, it's to just be 1% better than I was yesterday. I grew up eating like trash. I got paralyzed, continued to eat like trash. And then there came a point where I just was struggling with infections. My shoulders became super weak. I wasn't able to transfer, and I had all of these other issues that were due to my lifestyle. And it was a reality check for me. I'm like, if I want to be out of pain, if I want to be independent for as long as possible, I have to handle myself now. I have to go to the gym. I have to maintain my strength. I have to maintain my nutrition properly. Hydration. I need to get adequate sleep. Like there's so much more than just going to the gym. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that. And they're like, I just go work out, but I'm not getting results. And it's because those other aspects of your life aren't aligned. So for me, it's about my health and the longevity of my independence. Feel With Me Foundation, we are in the process of getting our 501c reinstated. We're planning for a 5K and a summer camp this year. So that's our priority there. Ultimate goal, 10-year goal for Wheel With Me Foundation is building a transitional facility. For Jesi Stracham as an individual, I plan to star in a major motion picture. I want to be on the big screen. That is my ultimate goal, as well as being a First Phorm elite athlete, so I can inspire other Legionnaires in the First Phorm program to work with adaptive athletes, and so I can inspire adaptive athletes to go ahead and work their butt off too, and that there is reward for your hard work, but you have to be the one to put it in. No one's gonna give you anything just because you're an adaptive athlete. They'll give it to you for the effort you put forth. I think the biggest motivation is not wanting to be that person I was when I first got paralyzed. I was 22 years old, selfish, living life for myself only. I never helped anyone. I never thought about anyone other than myself, honestly. And then I'm in this crazy motorcycle accident. I code twice, had to be resuscitated, break my back, lose use of my legs, bowel and bladder, and I'm just like, wow, poor me. Huge fan of the rower and skier, wall balls, and anything with a kettlebell. I love the kettlebell over the dumbbell because there's a lot more stability involved in holding that kettlebell. Oh, Pulp Fiction. Disney's Jungle Cruise, I watched it this summer.
So good.
Love it. So good. And Mean Girls.
All right, let's talk TV series. Top 3 TV series.
The Michael Jordan series, hands down. Of course, Grey's Anatomy. I'm invested at this point. And then that's all I got. I don't really watch TV. Top 3 favorite books. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Winning by Tim Grover. 75 Hard by Andy Frisella. My favorite quote, it's actually a Bible verse. It's John, I believe, 14:27. Do not let your heart be troubled and do not be afraid.